Welcome to the Music of Art, a South Dakota collection. This is a part of a series of original songs created by South Dakota artists, where the inspiration comes from other South Dakota art. Today's song is Painted Love by Katie Dwyer. The song was inspired by the art of Debbie Bowman. So let's start off with you, Katie. Can you just give us a little background of your history in music or art or what you do as a South Dakota artist?
Sure. A lot of South Dakota people that know of me know that I do play live gigs sometimes, and I'm also on the South Dakota touring artist roster. So I sometimes visit more rural communities, and I'm able to do either performances or workshops there, and I'm really enjoying that. And then outside of that, I do a lot of my work online. I am a community manager and host for a company called Produce Like a Boss, and I am a custom songwriter for a business called Songfinch. And then I have my own artist career where I put together, collections of songs for people that like my music. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while and it's really fun. And I also am kind of an audio nerd. So sometimes I do things like vocal tuning and mixing and mastering now. So it's very exciting to me. And I love a good opportunity to write a song with others.
Great, great. Debbie, what is your background in art, or how did you get to where you are today?
So my background in art is I've been painting and drawing since basically I was little. I did study in art for about 2.5 years at South Dakota State in Brookings. I didn't graduate, but after that I kind of stopped doing that for a long time. I got married, started having kids, and I was a stay-at-home mom for a good 10 years. And by the time my youngest was getting ready to go to kindergarten, I decided I need to pick up the paintbrushes again. And so started back at it. And originally I just wanted to just do dog portraits or, anything that would allow me to paint, really. And I started doing dog portraits or landscapes and that kind of stuff. And then I just kind of stumbled across the idea of live wedding painting. I've been following some artists that I like from all over the country, and there was a couple of them that do original work. So they also did this live wedding painting thing, and I had never heard of it before. This was in 2020, and I'm like, that's a fascinating concept. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love weddings. But at that point, I had never painted in front of people before, ever. So it just happened that my husband's really close friend from high school was getting married. So I decided that I'd offer to paint at their wedding as a gift. And knowing that it'd either be, I'm going to love this or hate it and never speak of it again kind of thing. And I did it and absolutely fell in love with the whole thing. It was so much fun interacting with all the guests and seeing how the couple reacted to the painting throughout the night. And then at the end of the night, after that one wedding, I was like, okay, I'm kind of hooked. I want to pursue this. So the thing about live wedding painting is before that, I just painted on my time and it never mattered how long it took me to paint something. Well, now live wedding painting, you will have to get it. You don't have to finish the night of. Some live painters do. I try to get it to 80, 90% done. But you have something mostly nice to look at the end of the night. After that first wedding, I spent the next good 6 months just practicing my painting speed. I would get a wedding to photograph and sit down, and I'd give myself a 6-hour block of time and just practice. So I got a lot faster. And then I just started posting on Facebook that I was going to start doing weddings, and it kind of just went from there. So I've been doing it. This is my 4th year now. I've painted, I think around 70 weddings now.
Oh.
I do a lot of live weddings, but I also do wedding paintings from photographs too. So if someone is already married, they'll just send me the photo and I'll recreate it as a painting. So Yeah, so that's basically the business. I started off thinking I'd be painting animals and landscapes and dogs, and ended up painting weddings, and I absolutely love it. I pinch myself every time I'm at a wedding painting, thinking, is this real life? Like, I get to paint and I get to be at a wedding and see all this love, and it's great.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's fascinating. The time commitment you have to put on yourself. I was going to ask you about how you got, that first time, but you kind of explained it, so it's very good. Katie, so what made you choose the art of Debbie? What kind of inspired you to choose that, or what about her art kind of started you down a song path there?
Yeah, well, so like Debbie, I also consider myself like a hopeless romantic type. So, at one point I even worked as a bridal consultant and sold wedding dresses and things like that. So that's kind of in my background and something that I really enjoyed for the time that I was doing it. And also, I felt like I wanted to pick a South Dakota artist that I felt was like underrated. And I just felt like Debbie, I love her work. I really have enjoyed like her social media content and just being able to see little glimpses of her in the process and things like that. And I feel like I agree. Like I felt like that job um, was just so cool. And also the fact that, Debbie, you saw something. It's not like you were like the first person ever to do something like this, but it's like you saw it and you thought like, I'm just going to try this. I love painting. I love weddings. Like I would love to do this. Like I don't know how it's going to be to paint in front of people. And I don't know. I really respect people that are able to think creatively outside of their art and even think creatively from a business perspective too, and have enough guts to just try something. So I just respected her as a person as well as just like really loved her art, and I just feel like more of South Dakota should know about it.
So, Debbie, what was your reaction now that you've heard the song?
I like when well, first of all, she didn't tell me she was doing it until it was done and she sent it to me, and my jaw was literally on the floor. I pulled it up and I was listening to it with my husband, and we listened to it like 5 times. I'm just like, I absolutely love it. I told my husband, I said, she just wrote the theme song for my entire industry. Like, it's such a beautiful song, and my husband's like, this is like one of the best things ever. Like, we just absolutely love it. It's such a beautiful, beautiful song. When she messaged me that she wrote a song about, my business, I was like a little, hate to say it, a little skeptical. I'm like, what? But it just blew me away. It's such a beautiful song, and I'm trying to pull up the line in my head. I should have wrote it down. It was like passed, created and passed down. I think the line was like one of my favorite lines from the entire song, because when I'm talking to potential couples about my service, that's one of the things I mentioned to them is like, this is going to be something, you're going to get it and you're going to be able to hang it on your wall forever, and then hopefully one day pass it down to your kids or grandkids or whoever. So the fact that that line was in there, I absolutely loved it. The whole song is great, but like that's one of the lines that really stood out to me.
Yeah, I actually, when I was thinking about that line too, because I feel like there's almost like layers to it when you're thinking about that line, because I think that a lot of people, obviously, it ends in divorce. But at that time, they were so in love, and that's the moment that's captured forever. And if they do have children, whether they are married for 70 years or whether they were only married for 5 years, but the children happened in that time, it's like they came together to form these beautiful children, and the children should get that painting like passed down to them as a memory. So I was even thinking about it from that perspective of, even if the love doesn't last forever, it's like you captured that beautiful moment and that will last forever.
love
just the
that.
memory of it. Yeah, so I was thinking a lot about that, and I think it's so special. It's like a huge part of like why I just love the whole concept of your work.
Okay, yeah,
hadn't
I
thought
like to
about it.
ask, oh, sorry, what was that?
No, no, I hadn't thought about that because the funny thing is people do ask me, well, what happens to the painting if they get divorced? I'm like, that's a good question. Hopefully not too many of my paintings end up in that situation. I'm sure some of them will, but so I love that thought about that. That makes me a lot happier to think of my possible future divorce paintings.
So Katie, I like to ask kind of, I'm always curious, people do lyrics or music first. I kind of happen to know in this situation, you actually started with a time signature. Why is that? Why did that kind of start you off on the song?
Yeah, so I guess I'll kind of just like fill everybody in on, like, obviously you know what happened during our co-write session, but for anyone else that's curious, I'm really used to co-writing on um, on the internet, and I'm really used to co-writing, from afar. So it was really interesting. I got to go to your music space, and we got to actually work together. And one of the things that honestly I was a little nervous about, it's kind of a no-no to jump into a co-writing session and bring absolutely nothing, like no solid ideas. And that's exactly what I did. I came to your house and I was just kind of like, well, I have some vague ideas of sort of what I want it like. And I had no like solid lyric ideas or even melody ideas. But I told you, I think I really want it to be like mid-tempo or slow to mid-tempo and in 3/4. And because 3/4, it's just like that waltz time. I don't know. There's something really romantic about it to me. And so I felt like if we just start with the time signature, I feel like things will just fall into place. And I feel like they did. Like I wasn't at your house for that long, I feel like. And I said, okay, I think I want it to be in this key and I really want this chord in it. And then that just led to a whole chord progression, which led to melody ideas, which led to lyrics spilling out. So that was really fun. One of the things that I liked about our co-writing session was your son Patrick was there. So I was able to kind of let you guys jam out a little bit and like turn to my phone and start lyricking, as I said. And just kind of spitting out lyrics, some that worked, some that didn't, and then piecing them together into the best format that I could. And yeah, I think that it all just sort of came together really, really easily and fluidly. Um, Probably because I had been thinking about it for quite a while. Um, yeah, we've been talking about this for like how long now? It's been a really long time that this project has been in motion. So yeah, it's been something that I've kind of had my mind on. And since I'd been thinking about it, I think that when it was finally time to just create the lyrics, it just happened really quickly. And we were able to like pin down that song structure and the chord progression. And then because I'm an audio nerd, instead of just recording like a live performance of the three of us playing it, I really love that we were able to incorporate like more layers and more harmonies and kind of just overdub whatever we wanted into the recording and just polish it up, however we wanted to. So that was a really fun part of it for me as well.
You both create art so fast. You should do something together maybe sometime.
I was gonna say, wait, so this song was made in like an afternoon, it sounds like?
Yeah, I think it was less than like 2 hours. It was really quick. And then after I came home, I solidified things, found the exact BPM that I liked and sent back a demo. And then they, the next day, recorded the drums, recorded the bass, recorded some harmonies to the demo that I sent them. And then I was able to kind of collect all the pieces and just, like I said, polish things up so that it sounds nice and ready to go.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So
Love
kind
it.
of on that line of creating art so fast, Debbie, kind of my last question for the group here. You don't know necessarily what you're going into, I assume visually, or do you have to come with a plan, or do you just kind of go with what catches you
Yeah.
first?
Well, each wedding is completely different, and I try to be as prepared as I can be. So before each wedding, I have a final consultation with my couple to find out what they want in their painting. Usually we decide on a moment from the day to paint, whether it be the first kiss or the first dance, or another one that's really popular with my couples is what I'd call just the first look, and that's where I'll meet with them when they're doing photos, and we'll just stage a nice intimate portrait. And then they tell me like what's important to have in their painting. Sometimes my customers or my couples tend to prefer it to be just them, but sometimes I add family members like parents. Sometimes I add the bridal party. Sometimes I add family members that are no longer with us. So that's kind of special when I'm able to do that. But most of the time it ends up being just the couple, and a lot of times it's the couple plus their pets. So that's always fun to add them. So usually the pets aren't at the wedding, so they provide me with photos of the pets that I add in. But then they just tell me, if it's a ceremony scene or a reception scene, they send me pictures or tell me where where the wedding is. So I try to always go online and look at the photo gallery of the venue to kind of see what I'm working with. Sometimes they'll send pictures that they took themselves, like when they did tours and stuff. So I kind of have an idea of what I'm getting into. So I at least have like a really rough mental idea when I get there. There's been a couple times where I've kind of gotten there thinking I know what I'm going to do, and then I see it with myself, and I kind of go, okay, we're scrapping that. I'm going to change it. Like sometimes I think I plan on doing it horizontally, and I'll say the dramatic ceiling or something, so I'll flip it vertically or something like that. And, sometimes I just don't know exactly what I can do with the painting until I get there and see what I have to work with. So there is always a lot of like last minute decisions that I have to make that I can't make until the day of when I start painting. So it always keeps me on my toes. So it's kind of a fun process. I never really know exactly what I'm going to come out with by the end of the night. So it's always exciting to see what I come up with.
Great. Well, I want to thank you both for taking time and helping us promote some South Dakota art.
Yeah, thank you guys
For
both
those of you
so much.
watching, there'll be in the description, there'll be a link to the actual performance video. So check that out as well. Thank you.